Light chat about this one, but I think I don't know. I wasn't, and I don't know. I would. It's one of these things. Everyone's kind of a little obsessed by it, except me.
Such a good character.
It was a great character.
Alan Cumming is back as Nightcrawler, and he's making a serious impact. After 23 years away from the role, he's set to return in Avengers Doomsday. But there's a surprising twist behind his return. Thanks to advanced makeup techniques, his transformation now takes just 90 minutes, down from the grueling 4.5 hours it once required. Fans and insiders alike are stunned by the upgrade. Nightcrawler is making a bold, faster-than-ever comeback.
Breach at Visitors Checkpoint.
Isn't it nuts? I'm excited and amazed. It's been 23 years since I was a superhero, Cumming revealed during a recent conversation with co-star Olivia Munn for Collider. The 60-year-old actor, who first portrayed the beloved X-Men character in 2003's X2 X-Men United, has already undergone makeup tests for the highly anticipated Marvel film scheduled for release on May 1st, 2026, and the technological advancements have left him astounded. The game-changing difference lies in how Nightcrawler's distinctive facial markings are applied. Before, all of the tattoos were done by hand. They hadn't decided on them before we started filming, Cumming explained. Now, they just stick onto my face. It's a game changer. This revolutionary approach not only saves precious production time, but also ensures consistency in the character's appearance throughout filming. A stark contrast to the painstaking hand application process required 2 decades ago. For those unfamiliar with the character, Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner, is known for his striking blue skin covered in intricate religious-themed markings, pointed ears, yellow eyes, and a prehensile tail. Creating this look for X2 required Cumming to endure a grueling makeup session each filming day, severely limiting the amount of time he could actually spend on set. The new streamlined process means more screen time for the character and a significantly more comfortable experience for the actor. I'm going back to being a 60-year-old superhero and everyone seems really lovely, Cumming shared during an appearance on Today with Hoda and Jenna, conveying both excitement and a hint of self-deprecating humor about taking on such a physically demanding role at his age. His enthusiasm for returning to the Marvel Universe is palpable, despite the decades that have passed since his last appearance as the character. The Scottish actor, who currently hosts the hit reality competition show The Traitors, joins an increasingly star-studded cast for Avengers Doomsday. Directed by the Russo brothers, the film will feature Robert Downey Jr., Pedro Pascal, Tom Holland, Joseph Quinn, Chris Hemsworth, Florence Pugh, and Haley Steinfeld. Cumming won't be the only X-Men alum joining the MCU extravaganza. Reports suggest Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen may also reprise their roles as Professor X and Magneto, respectively. Cumming's career has spanned an impressive range of roles across film, television, and stage since his first portrayal of Nightcrawler. From his Emmy-nominated performance as Eli Gold in The Good Wife, to his Tony Award-winning turn in Cabaret, and his recent hosting duties on The Traitors, Cumming has demonstrated remarkable versatility as a performer. Now, at 60, he returns to the superhero genre that introduced him to mainstream American audiences. The technological advancements in makeup application that have so impressed Cumming reflect the broader evolution of special effects in superhero filmmaking. When X2 was released in 2003, practical effects and traditional makeup techniques were still the industry standard. Today's combination of advanced prosthetics, prefabricated application methods, and digital enhancement has transformed how such characters are brought to life on screen. For makeup artists and special effects teams, the challenge of transforming an actor into a character like Nightcrawler has always been balancing visual fidelity with practical considerations. The 4.5-hour process Cumming endured for X2 represented a significant burden not only for the actor, but for production schedules and budgets. Cutting that time to 90 minutes means more flexibility in shooting schedules, less exhaustion for the performer, and potentially more nuanced work from an actor not suffering from hours of discomfort.
Mentally, it's very difficult. No, I have to get up really early. I go to sleep. I have lovely, lovely makeup people, Charles and Jay, who do it. And you just have to kind of get into a zone where you don't mind grown men poking at your face for 4 hours and spraying you and stuff. And sometimes I watch films in the mirror, but it's quite hard if they're subtitled.
Fans of the original portrayal might wonder whether the new, faster application process will affect the quality of Nightcrawler's appearance. However, advances in material science and application techniques have generally improved the realism and durability of such makeup effects. The pre-made tattoos Cumming described likely offer greater consistency and detail than their hand-drawn predecessors, while potentially allowing for more complex designs that would be impractical to recreate daily by hand.
I have these kind of tattoos that are very, which I rue the day actually that I was the one who actually said, no, let's go with the tattoos, they look really great. And now they take a long, long time every morning to get stuck on, so I'm hoping maybe if there's a sequel that some strange mutant accident can have taken place and Nightcrawler will have no tattoos and be white.
For Marvel Studios, bringing Cumming back as Nightcrawler represents another step in their strategy of incorporating characters from the pre-Disney era of Marvel films into their expanding cinematic universe. Following the appearance of characters from previous Spider-Man franchises in Spider-Man No Way Home and other multiverse-focused projects, the return of X-Men characters signals Marvel's commitment to honoring the cinematic legacy that preceded the MCU's creation. Avengers Doomsday is positioned to be one of the most ambitious crossover events in the studio's history, potentially bringing together characters from across different eras of Marvel filmmaking. Cumming's return as Nightcrawler, facilitated by these makeup innovations, may represent just the beginning of a new chapter in how Marvel incorporates legacy characters into its ongoing narrative. What do you think about Alan Cumming's return as Nightcrawler after 23 years? Are you excited to see how modern makeup techniques will enhance his portrayal of the beloved mutant? And what other X-Men characters would you like to see join the MCU in Avengers Doomsday? The countdown to May 1st, 2026 has officially begun, with fans eagerly anticipating this new era of Marvel filmmaking where the past and present of superhero cinema converge on the biggest stage imaginable.
Along the near boards, here comes Lemieux, and he has Jagr wide open, puts it right on his play, breakaway, in on goal, shorthanded, makes the movement. You coming out, trying to turn it hard, Jagr shoots and scores!
The Penguins seem to have two Michael Jordans.
The winter of 2017 marked what appeared to be the final chapter of Jaromir Jagr's illustrious NHL career. On December 31st, as the Calgary Flames played against the Chicago Blackhawks, few realized they were witnessing the last time the legendary Czech would grace NHL ice. At 45 years old, Jagr had defied time and expectations, playing in the world's most competitive hockey league, well past the age when most players had long retired to broadcasting booths or coaching positions. But for Jagr, this wasn't an ending. It was merely a transition. Jagr's final NHL season wasn't the storybook ending many had hoped for. After signing a one-year contract with the Calgary Flames in October 2017, injuries limited him to just 22 games, where he managed only a single goal and 6 assists. For a player who once dominated scoring charts and had amassed 1,921 career points, second only to Wayne Gretzky, these numbers were uncharacteristic. By January 2018, the Flames placed Jagr on waivers, effectively ending his run in the NHL. This quiet departure stood in stark contrast to the fanfare that had followed him throughout his career, spanning 9 different NHL franchises. There were no retirement ceremonies, no farewell tours, just a simple transaction wire notice. But anyone who knew Jagr understood this wasn't the end. Just days after clearing waivers, Jagr made a decision that surprised few who knew him well. He returned to HC Kladno, his hometown club in the Czech Republic. This wasn't merely a sentimental homecoming. Years earlier, Jagr had purchased a majority stake in the team, becoming its owner while still playing in the NHL. Now, he would serve as both owner and player. HC Kladno wasn't in the Czech Extraliga, the country's top league, at the time of Jagr's return, having been relegated to the second division. Jagr's mission became clear: help restore his beloved hometown team to its former glory. Despite being in his mid-40s, Jagr immediately became a key contributor, providing essential leadership on and off the ice. In his first partial season back with Kladno in 2017-18, Jagr played in 23 games and recorded 4 goals with 8 assists. While these numbers might seem modest by his historic standards, they represented significant production for a player approaching 50 in a professional league. The 2018-19 season proved pivotal for both Jagr and HC Kladno. Despite dealing with various injuries that limited his playing time, Jagr contributed crucial performances in the promotion playoffs. His leadership and occasional flashes of brilliance, moments that reminded fans of his dominant NHL days, helped Kladno secure promotion back to the Extraliga. This achievement represented more than just athletic success for Jagr. As owner, he had invested significant financial resources into the club. As a hometown hero, he carried the hopes and pride of an entire community. The promotion meant economic stability for the organization and restored prestige for Kladno hockey. Upon returning to the top Czech league, Jagr continued to play regularly despite his advancing age. The 2019-20 season saw him appear in 38 games for Kladno, scoring 15 goals and adding 14 assists. Remarkable production for a player now in his late 40s competing against professionals often half his age. What enabled Jagr to continue playing professional hockey well into his 50s wasn't merely natural talent. It was his legendary work ethic and unconventional training methods that had defined his entire career. The stories of Jagr's commitment to physical conditioning are legendary. Since childhood, when he reportedly performed 1,000 squats daily as a 7-year-old, Jagr had always approached training with almost mystical dedication. Throughout his post-NHL years, this commitment only intensified. Former NHL teammates often shared anecdotes of Jagr's peculiar habits: midnight skating sessions wearing a weighted vest, ankle weights during practices, and exercise routines at bizarre hours. One famous story from his Philadelphia days involved teammates returning from a night out at 3 a.m. only to find Jagr preparing for a pre-dawn workout, behavior that continued well into his 40s. In Kladno, these habits persisted. Local players would marvel at finding the arena lights on at odd hours, with Jagr alone on the ice or in the weight room. The only difference between me at 25 and me at 45 is that I have to work twice as hard to get the same results, Jagr once remarked. This philosophy has carried him through years that would have been retirement decades for almost any other player. Beyond his on-ice contributions, Jagr's return to the Czech Republic elevated him from sports star to cultural institution. His signature mullet hairstyle, which had been his trademark since the early 1990s, became fashionable again among young Czech hockey players. His number 68, chosen to commemorate the 1968 Prague Spring and subsequent Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia, carried powerful symbolic meaning in his homeland. Attendance at Kladno games surged after his return. Visiting arenas throughout the Czech Republic would sell out whenever Kladno came to town, with fans of all ages and team affiliations hoping to catch a glimpse of the living legend. This Jagr effect provided an economic boost not just to his club, but to Czech hockey as a whole. As an owner, Jagr faced challenges that went beyond athletic performance. The COVID-19 pandemic that began in 2020 created financial strain for sports organizations worldwide, and Kladno was no exception. Jagr personally covered player salaries during difficult periods, demonstrating his commitment to the club's survival beyond his playing days. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Jagr's post-NHL career has been his ability to remain competitive at an age when most athletes have long since retired. At 50, Jagr was still producing points in a professional league. By comparison, Gordie Howe, often cited as hockey's most age-defying player before Jagr, retired from the NHL at 52. But his final seasons were more ceremonial than impactful. The 2021-22 season saw Jagr, now 50 years old, still contributing to Kladno's lineup. Though his ice time had decreased and injuries became more frequent, he remained capable of moments of brilliance that reminded fans why he ranks among hockey's all-time greats. Jagr's unprecedented longevity challenged athletic aging conventions. His lower body strength, adaptive playing style, and recovery techniques allowed him to extend his career decades beyond expectations. While his NHL achievements alone secure his legacy, 5 scoring titles, 2 Stanley Cups, Olympic gold, and ranking second all-time in points, his post-NHL career added new dimensions. By returning to rebuild his hometown team, Jagr demonstrated rare loyalty in professional sports. Playing competitively into his 50s redefined possibilities for aging athletes, while mentoring younger Czech players ensures his impact continues. When asked about retirement, he jokes, "I can't retire yet. I still owe money to my father, who is financing the team." This humor reveals a deeper truth. Hockey isn't merely Jagr's profession, but his lifetime commitment. The boy who once did 1,000 daily squats has become a living legend whose passion transcends boundaries, even time itself.
I have tried to look like Lucy. I even use the same beauty cream Lucy uses, but nothing works. You know that ugly skin on your elbows?
She made America laugh for decades, but behind that iconic red hair and infectious smile lay a woman haunted by her past and fighting for dignity in her final chapter. Lucille Ball, the queen of comedy who conquered Hollywood and built an entertainment empire, faced a heartbreaking descent in her twilight years that few fans ever witnessed. What really happened to Lucy in those final years? Was it the curse of fame, the ghost of a tumultuous marriage, or something even darker lurking beneath the surface of her picture-perfect public image? Tonight, we reveal the shocking truth behind America's favorite redhead's last days, a tale of faded glory, broken dreams, and one final, desperate attempt to reclaim the spotlight that once adored her. By the 1980s, Lucille Ball was no longer the unstoppable force who had revolutionized television. The woman who once ruled the airwaves with I Love Lucy and built Desilu Productions into a powerhouse that gave us everything from Star Trek to Mission Impossible, was now struggling to remain relevant in a rapidly changing entertainment landscape. Her phenomenal success seemed like ancient history. The woman who had become the first female head of a major television production company was now watching her influence wane year by year. Her legendary perfectionism, once her greatest asset, had become an obstacle in an industry increasingly dominated by younger executives and changing audience tastes. In 1986, ABC offered Lucille what seemed like a golden opportunity, a new sitcom called Life with Lucy. The network, believing in the enduring power of the Lucy brand, took the unprecedented step of giving her complete creative control without even requesting a pilot. It was a level of trust that reflected her legendary status. But what should have been a triumphant return became a devastating blow. Life with Lucy was savaged by critics and rejected by audiences who couldn't reconcile this aging performer with the vibrant comedian they remembered. After just 8 episodes, ABC pulled the plug in a humiliating public cancellation. It was devastating for her, recalled a close friend who witnessed Lucy's reaction to the show's failure. She had built her entire identity around being America's favorite television star. When that was taken away, she didn't know who she was anymore. The professional disappointment would have been difficult enough for anyone to bear, but for Lucille Ball, it was compounded by painful personal losses that left her increasingly isolated. Her marriage to Gary Morton, while more stable than her famously turbulent relationship with Desi Arnaz, had settled into a comfortable but somewhat passionless arrangement. Friends described it as more of a business partnership than a romance in later years. Gary managed Lucy's career and provided stability, but the fire that had characterized her relationship with Desi, for better or worse, was noticeably absent. Yet despite their divorce decades earlier, Desi remained the great love of Lucy's life. Their relationship defied conventional understanding, a passionate, creative partnership torn apart by alcoholism, infidelity, and the pressures of building an entertainment empire, yet bound by an unbreakable emotional connection that lasted until Desi's death. "I once sat down with Lucy when she was 66, recalled a journalist who interviewed her. "Just mentioning Desi brought back a flood of emotions. When Desi and I got married, we had nothing," she told me, her voice heavy with emotion. "He was just this kid with a band in New York. We built everything together." When Desi Arnaz died of lung cancer in 1986, Lucy was devastated. Their final phone conversation, where he told her, "I love you too, honey," became a bittersweet memory she clung to. Though they had been divorced, For 26 years, his death left a void that nothing could fill. It was as if part of her died with him, said one longtime associate. They had this connection that transcended their marriage, their divorce, everything. Without him, even at a distance, she seemed lost.